live and unprepared and uninspired.
Wow. And he's had coffee.
And we're an hour and a half late. We apologize, but you understand. We warned you that we were going to be late today.
I am now babysitting.
I'm turning the camera on you now.
I'm now babysitting the neighbor's cat and yard. And we have the funkiest house in the neighborhood, but they have a nicer house and yard and security systems and a small greenhouse because he has a plant business. So I'm extra busy in the heat trying to keep things alive, including the cat, who's kind of...
You're babysitting the rich folks' cat.
Well, they're rich compared to us, which is not hard to do.
That's look at anybody pretty
we
much.
We always like to live on the outskirts of rich people's neighborhoods. but anyway, so I can walk at night.
Yeah.
Anyway, but and I've had well, Lon's going to talk about what he's going to do first today. What are you going to talk about? Honey?
Oh, let's see here. I'm going to talk about mantras, homemade mantras, what mantras are, how you can invent your own mantra and make it something magical and meaningful for you before you chant yourself into stonedness.
I think you have to be stoned first before you can think of a mantra.
You got to be crazy first, yes.
Well, I don't mean drugs, except I guess I do. Maybe I do because Lon teases me about my drug of choice because I do have withdrawals. I have 1 cup of very strong decorated coffee every day for my break.
And God help anyone that gets in the way of that 1 cup of coffee.
No, yes, it's I'm not mean, but I'm persistent.
You're so high on coffee you don't know you're being mean.
I get the opposite of coffee. It's when I don't have the coffee that I'm mean.
Yes.
It's that half hour before. Get out of my way.
I think there's a clinical term for that.
It's addiction.
Yeah.
I know I'm addicted to the coffee. But anyway, so I guess, but anyway, I was asking if it was, if to be inspired before you think of your mantra or your...
No, you get more out of a cup of coffee than most
people get
founders of religions get. Yeah.
Well, I pray before I drink it. No kidding. Because it is a drug, and I want to put every drop of it to I won't say good because who cares about good and evil. Worthy for my purposes use.
You fill the margins of books full of pencil marks, I tell you.
Pencil marks. Yes, I write.
Notes, yeah.
I write as I read. Anyway, yeah. So, well, and Lon has his own person. He has a Ganesha mantra that he...
I like the Ganesha mantra, and I did a couple more during the years I was going out in the backyard while you were up in the attic.
And I have
or the loft.
The attic.
You were up in the... She's up in the attic.
He let me down to clean and cook.
Yes.
And other things.
Yeah, with my unborn twin. Or Jean-Paul's
unborn.
Spike.
Spike is his first brother.
He says, yeah, we keep his brother hidden away.
Okay, his older brother. Anyway, Spike in the attic. We're still talking about Spike in the attic. We didn't even have an attic when we thought of that.
That's okay, we didn't have a Spike either.
Oh, really? Was he one of my... Anyway, I'm not going to say that. Yeah, so... No, I was going to say... Oh, I have a blessing. When I ride my bicycle, I started in Costa Mesa, too. Because I put this little string of small Tibetan prayer flags, or Buddhist prayer flags, on my large paper boy's basket.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
And you know how they work, that when they wear out, when they're half worn out, you don't say, oh, I've got to get new ones. No, you let them all wear out, because then the blessings that have all been used
Their
up,
molecules
and they're ready to do it again.
are
I
freed,
don't care about
yes.
molecules, it's the blessings. So anyway, so I wore out a complete string of them. I made sure riding my bike through all kinds of weather, and I don't care about rain, and or wind. Now that I think of it, but so I've got a new one on, and I have, my blessing is healing and peace and freedom from fear. I figured that works for all sentient beings. Right now would be pretty good.
Is not the slug my brother?
Mine.
Yeah.
They feel good when they crawl on your hand, by the way. But never mind. Never mind strange sensual experiences of snails and slugs crawling on your hand. I was going to say something better than that. I do have lots to say. I have lots to say. Oh, God.
Here, I'll turn the camera back on me while I snooze.
I thought it was on you. Good God.
No, you're talking, so I have it on.
I have to think of the other thing I was going to say. I got distracted by my own.
She's thinking of D.
Talk on.
Well,
And
I tell you that we had a thunderstorm
in the middle of the night.
in the middle of the night.
Giant lightning and thunder once.
One big thunder clap. It was a giant clap, and it hasn't rained here in quite a while. Certainly not rain, and it wasn't in the forecast or in anything else.
It appeared in the night.
It appeared in the night
Like a thief.
like a large clap.
And it took away the heat immediately.
Yeah, it was kind of neat, and all the plants today
Look a little
said,
different.
"Can we have more lightning today?"
We all like the lightning.
Yeah.
But it only rained for about 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah. Camera's back on you, dear.
Okay, well, I also thought about, I had a book called Metaphysical Meditation. No, Medicine. I do have that too. But Medicinal Meditations or something like that. And it was, and a really good one, it was healthy am I, happy am I, holy am I. And when you start saying that every day, repeatedly, at a certain time maybe, or constantly through it, you kind of realize how you don't feel that way most of the time. So it's pretty good to have that on your,
To remind yourself that there is that to feel.
Well, there is that, yeah, and especially.
Oh, I could feel that.
You might have, yeah. I have to. I can almost sometimes, especially after the coffee, feel the holy part better than the happy part. So, but anyway, yeah. So anyway, there's a wide variety. You can choose someone else's, or some other one can inspire you, or. I think it's a good idea to have them.
I think so too.
But I really want to talk about something else.
Well, do it.
I knocked out one of my front teeth with a very super seed cracker, and it's almost all gone. I'm yet to call the dentist, but we didn't quite know who to call yet. But I think we're going to call one this afternoon. We figured out maybe one that has to do with our regular health plan thing. They have a dentist anyway. And I realized that when you look into the mirror when you're older, this isn't going to happen to people. You're young, you're not going to understand. But, I'm going to say, it's not pleasant, but nothing to don't be afraid, but not pleasant. You're not going to recognize yourself. And that's because that's not yourself. It's, when you're younger, and we've all done this, we do this meditation where you say, you try to strip down to yourself. And it's a meditation where, I'm not these clothes are not me, and then the clothes fall off, and And you go, well, I'm not the skin, and the skin falls off, and I'm not the skin, and the flesh falls off, and it's not, you're not that.
Start with a toenail.
No, and then, believe me, that too.
Yeah.
But then you get down to the bones, and then you get, and in fact, everything tends to go, and you go, I'm not the mind, I'm not, my thoughts, and I'm not my addictions, my desires, my emotions. You rip it all out. And it gets down to a nothingness kind of thing, and you think, oh, it's cool. It's really cool. Then it's kind of fun to do it. Kind of, it centers you a little bit. When you get older, it's for real. It's for real.
It's for real.
You realize why you've been doing that, because it's time to realize what the truth is when you were young, which you didn't realize when you're young, that you're not the body. And especially when you're in the throes of hormones, when you're younger, my God, you think you're the body. Which is a bad thing, because you lose what you really are. Not that I know what I really, but I know I'm not that stuff. And anybody's seen a dead cat or a dead relative or somebody in person, not just on a TV show. Something you knew that was alive before. Now,
yeah,
it's obvious with them. And you have more chance of seeing it. Not the body. What animated the body before?
Oh! I hope we're back, because it went out there for a second, but it looks like.
How long was it out?
No, I think we're still on. Yeah, we're still on.
Talking about dead cats.
The dead cats.
But the
Mark Twain curse. Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about Mark Twain's curse.
No, okay.
But you know that, or you see a human, a dead relative or someone, and you know that that's not them. They weren't the body. So why don't you take that knowledge right there and figure it out right then? Because you have this barrier for. Oh God, no! Your ego's going. No, you are the body, and I'm in control of it. It's worthless piece of crap, but no. And that doesn't mean to degrade or abuse or humiliate your body. That's not right either, because some people do that, or the opposite. They glorify it, and this is all wonderful. It's what the truth. You don't go either way with it. It's both those. It's everything, but it's nothing. It's closer to nothing. Anyway, got to that, and then I thought, well, how's this gonna, it's gonna make you feel better when you're older, or if something happens to you. Think about all the, I don't want to get political. The people around the world who have been bombed into being amputees, or having parts of them gone, or physical things. They're having troubles right now. So it's good for you to remind yourself and to think about them as being whole even when they're broken. And their bodies are broken. So, but it's a practice. It's just like all of life is just practice. So one little thing goes, like the tooth. I look like someone from the Depression in Appalachia. No offense to both those things. They're practice. They're just practice for when you really find out what you are. In fact, everything is supposed to be what people call, that's a learning experience.
Where's the gift in this? Where's the gift?
Yeah. Which is really, you kind of want to. I always get.
Screw you.
Where's the gift?
I got your gift right here. Man.
Exactly. But if it isn't, I don't know about the gift.
Yeah.
But every change is supposed to be good, or an opportunity for something better to happen, because you don't care for it the way it is. So anyway, I'm babbling this morning. I've only had 2 sips of that coffee.
It's good coffee.
Yeah, it was good coffee. So make it a practice to try to prepare yourself by when something looks strange about your body. It's it's not perfect or whatever. It's not. It's all right. You're not that.
Okay. Is that it? Are you ready to go shopping
Yes,
and stand on your feet for 1,000,000 hours?
And I'm going to. I have a sweater on, although it's an oven in here. I also have 2 shirts under it because I also have a little tiny sweatshirt here.
Okay.
It's cold.
Well, say goodbye because I'm turning the camera back on me. Huh?
Good night, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie. Oh, and please roll down your window. Yeah, Constance always likes to keep her window rolled up.
When we're riding around.
While we're riding around.
I don't like the hot, dry, filthy air blowing hard into my eyeballs.
So, what a prima donna.
You know, if it really was a buckboard, that would be different.
Well, this is pretty close to a buckboard. Aren't you, Carla?
If you were driving on the beach, that might be different.
Okay, do you need anything from the back?
No.
Okay. I'll be sure.
Unless there's a restroom back there.
Yes, I'll be in pretty soon too myself. So this is the second parking lot. So
I'm going to get my mask out.
okay. So I'll make mine short today
After all that babbling, he's gonna blame it on me.
Oh no, this is. But I'll truly make it short. I sort of teased you with the idea of talking about mantras and like mantras that come right off the shelf, like Hare Krishna or any of the TM mantras that your TM master gives you a few syllables for you to use as a mantra. It's a wonderful technology. It's a spiritual technology, if you will, that occupies your mind, occupies one part of your consciousness until it becomes on automatic pilot, and then a higher part of your consciousness can step out of it. In other words, it's like thinking yourself to transcend thinking. Okay. And it's more than that. Any yogi will say, well, that's not it, Lon. But in homemade magic, I guess, I talk about my Ganesha mantra. Well, it's not just the mantra. It started out as a mantra whereby just as a devotional thing, I repeat Ganesha's name 108 times, which is sort of a sacred number of like rosary bead kind of number. So I learned to do it to the tune of Pop Goes the Weasel, so I could keep track on my fingers. Just 2.5 rounds of Pop Goes the Weasel gives you 108, And I've incorporated that into my magical banishings and invocations. And you'd have to refer to the Homemade Magic Ganesha chapter to get the details of how I do that. But it's something I can do sitting down in my head that gives me a good bona fide meditation session. it does what it's supposed to do. It works as advertised. Now, since I started writing the new book, The Tarot Architect, whereby I incorporate a series of magical practices that incorporate tarot cards as part of the inner work. And because it's been on my mind lately, it just came out in May. That's what I'm doing all my interviews about. It's what the Monday night class is about for a while. And I'm preparing a big 3-day thing next year in Joshua Tree for like a 3-day workshop out in the desert. So I've been thinking about that lately. And I have been thinking about magic words that are spelled with letters that indicate that the magic word is also a magic formula. Now there is the word abrahadabra. It's kind of a thelemic magic word. It's used by Thelemite, but it is a magic word, no matter what you think you are. Abrahadabra, it's made of 5 A's and 6 other kinds of letters. And in a sense, abrahadabra, just saying abrahadabra, you're in your mind, you have an understanding of the union of 5 and 6, the union of the holy guardian angel with you, the union of the macrocosm and the microcosm. And so just with that basic, simple understanding, when you say abrahadabra, you are triggering the dynamics of that formula just with the words that you're saying, okay? You know, in the comic book, the character that, has a ring or something, goes Shazam! And it's the magic word that kicks it off. And even stage magicians go abracadabra, during the pandemic, when Constance and I sort of played monastery, she would go up to the loft and do her morning meditations, and I would go out to the backyard garden patio, and I'd do my meditations, including that Ganesha in banishing and invocation. But then I'd sit down with rosary beads, and I would just repeat the word abrahadabra, 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 and in short order, I got so stoned with the triggering that magical formula that abrahadabra represented, that it was a mantra that was operating just as advertised. Okay, now because I'm working on this Tarot Architect book, and that we're the whole idea is to internalize, construct the entire tarot inside you, so that you become a walking, talking, living, breathing tarot deck yourself. And so any deck that you use, it's your magic deck, because the tarot is in you. And let's see if I can just quickly find it. The 22 trumps, the tarot cards that even if you're not really familiar with the tarot, everybody knows about the magician and the high priestess and the devil and hangman and things like that. Those 22 trumps in the Kabbalah really represent 22 different kinds of what the Kabbalists call intelligences. They're frequencies that step up or step down the frequency of the consciousness levels that they connect. And but those 22 letters also create existence itself. And of those 22 letters, there are 3 special Kabbalistic Hebrew letters, Aleph, Mem, Shin. Okay, Aleph, Mem, and Shin. And they represent Aleph for up and down, Mem for front and back, and Shin from left to right. So, Sh creates dimensional space as we know it. Now, the upness that Aleph creates is a letter itself, like the ceiling of your room. And the downness of Aleph also creates another Hebrew letter, a double Hebrew letter, of which there is 7. 6 of them are the ceiling and floor and the west wall and the east wall and the north wall and the south wall. And the 7th one is the center one from which it all jumps. It's the last tarot card, the universe card, which is a 0. There's the dancing goddess inside a big 0, a zodiac's wheel in many decks. Wouldn't it be nice, instead of abrahadabra, which actually represents the union of the macrocosm and the microcosm, wouldn't it be fun? Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be magical? Wouldn't it be legitimate to make up a mantra, simple mantra, that creates space and time, just like it creates that cube of space? Now, the 12 simple letters of the trump cards are the edges of that cube. Okay, and they each have a Hebrew letter that goes with them. Now, how would we make up a mantra like that? Well, just on the sly, to do it quick and dirty. Let's see. I have somewhere around here. To do it quick and dirty, you just use the Hebrew letters themselves. So Aleph, okay, the mother letter Aleph that goes up and down, but its upness is Bet, and its floor is Gimel. So it'd be Abaga. 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 Do you get it? Is it too simple? Can it be that easy? Abaga. 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 And you've just created up and down. You've just created infinite above and infinite below. The next one is Mem. So that would start, if we're going to assign a sound that goes, a vowel sound that goes with M, you go, that's good. But you also go, Ma, okay? So for east and west, or front and back, you'd go, Ma. And that goes toward the front. And when it goes toward the front, or the east, it hits Daleth. Or the Empress card, it hits Daleth, Venus. So it'd be Mada. As you create infinite eastness. Mada. And it kicks back all the way through you to the back of you, which is the Wheel of Fortune, the Jupiter card, the Hebrew letter Kaf. So it'd be Mada. Madaka. Madaka. So we get Abaga. Abaga. Madaka. Abaga. Okay. Then when you get into the swing of that, Abaga, Mabadaga, Abaga, Magada, where you've created an infinitely smooth plane surface. You haven't even broken into dimension yet. It's that third dimension that actually breaks into dimensional space. And that's the third Hebrew letter. Third Hebrew mother letter, Shin. So for the sake of our mantra, we'd treat that as a Sha. And that would be Sha. And as it hits the north, that you're just creating with that letter, as it hits the north, it hits the wall that is the Hebrew letter Pei, which is like the tower card. So it'd be like Shapa. Shapa. And on the opposite wall over there that you've created with that same horizontal sheen card, that tower card laying on its side, is Resh, the sun. So that would be Shapara. Shapara. Get it? Abaga, Madaka, Madaka, Shapara. Abaga, Madaka, Shapara. Abaga, Madaka, Shapara. Can you see what you're doing as you're repeating those words? Now, in the book, I tell you to put the universe card, which is that seventh, it's that zero that they all jump out of. I have you take that universe card and put it in your pocket so you're identifying with the center of all that shit. Pretty cool, huh? It doesn't take long to just practice that in your head, and as you're doing so, okay, I don't know if here's a cube of a pink one because I have a lot of pink construction paper. Okay, thank God I had this one. Okay, here is, okay, you see the above and below there for olive. And then you've got the mem and sheen there going to this, mem going to the side. And then you've got the sheen going from north to south. I guess that we can do it that way, okay? So it's three things, and those three things fit inside your cube of space to create the top ceiling, the bottom floor, and north, south, east, west walls. Okay? And you create that simply by going, let's see here, Abaga, Madaka, Shapara. And you can even do signs as you do it. Abaga, Madaka, Shapara. Pretty cool, huh? So you can even do your mantra silently by going, sort of like a Kabbalistic cross. It's accompanied by gestures. You're turning your whole body into a movement, a complex moving symbol itself. Okay. Now, each of those walls is a sign of the zodiac. Okay, there's 12 edges, oblique angles. Okay, and those are the tarot cards that go with the signs of the zodiac. And the signs of the zodiac just go in order. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. And I'm just going to give a short example because I know I'm taking too much of your time today. But if you're sitting down facing east in your tarot temple, and you face east, and the wall you're facing is the Empress card, because that's the Venus, that's the Daleth card. But the edge of the room, the corner of the room to your left, is Aries, or the Emperor. And the corner of the room to your right is Taurus, the next one in line in the wheel of the zodiac year. And the top edge is Gemini, and the bottom edge is Cancer. So you would face east, and if you were going to make a mantra out of the 12 signs of the zodiac, you'd go ha wazaka, ha wazaka, ha wazaka. And you turn to the south. Now you only got 3 of them because you're sharing that emperor thing as you turn to the north. Excuse me. And so that would be Tet, Yod, and Lamed. And that would be Ta Yala, Talaya, Talaya. They sound so neat. Okay. Then you turn to the west, and you'd be sharing one of the edges. So that's a 3-letter mantra too, and that would be for Noon, or the Death card, and Samekh for the Temperance card, and Oyen for the Devil card. So that would be Na Sai, Na Sai, and the gesture would be Na Sai, Na Sai. Okay, and to the south, there's only 2 of them that haven't been taken up. So the top edge and the bottom edge, and that would be Tzadi and Kuf. So it'd be Tsaqua, Tsaqua. Now, I hate memory work and things like that. Okay. But when you work with these things and practice them with the tarot cards themselves, it gets more obvious and more easy. It's not even a matter of memory work. After a while, it is just there. And in a short time, if you practice this for a week, within a short time, it'll just be there. You don't even have to work at it. As you're falling asleep at night, you can create the whole thing. And it's in you. And that's the idea of these exercises. Because once it's in you, you have just squirted a ton of WD-40 lubricant into your soul. Until tomorrow, continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt, shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. Let's see if I can